Buttons, how are you? How are you? Hey, best friend. Comments start getting messy. I'm gonna turn them off. Don't piss me off. I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood for that bullshit. Hello, Gina. Camo, you're ruining it for yourself. You're gonna have to go. You too, Juicy. Thank you. If this live goes down, if I don't have a different platform, I will be going on my Instagram. There's also going to be some videos posted just in case this live goes down. Yes, I just started. Thank you. I wasn't being rotten. Y'all are weird. Camo, stop it. Stop it, Camo. This live is not going to be long at all. This live is going to no boxes for now until I'm ready for that. I've seen enough. I've seen enough for a little while. I've been trying to keep my peace and stay off this shit until after my court process is finished because everybody's already heard all the nonsense. Well, you've all right, sorry about that. Like I said, just me and my family were involved in this, not the internet, not no dumbass people twisting stories. So ain't nobody gonna tell me what the hell I did and didn't do and what I've been through, okay? That's first off. I was gonna do this live and be like, you know, try to be respectful to people, but I have not been given much respect. Over what happened recently with a certain event. I do not have a second device. I have a couple recordings I would love for people to hear live, but I'm going to post those because I don't have a second device. I do have a recording of a visit from a CPS worker after the situation. You know, a good recording from a CPS worker. That will definitely be posted publicly by me, nobody else, just me. And I also have... a couple other things I want people to hear. But again, I'll post those because I don't have a second device. All 00 accounts, mods, block them. My Instagram is MF_Grow Queen if this goes down. If I don't find a different TikTok platform. Thank you for the likes and the shares. I appreciate you. Thank you, SC. I appreciate that. Thank you, Rockin'. Thank you. All right, so I've been behind the scenes off lives and stuff, and today I did have an arraignment. I did have an arraignment. Yes, I did. I had an arraignment today. Situation recently that happened that Nicole brought to the app, and so did May. That number one was never anyone's business. It wasn't anyone's business for me to tell. It wasn't even my real life friends. Nobody's business. It definitely wasn't the internet's business. But that's how they do things because they're gross. So. Basically, it started off with Nicole somehow either, I don't know, Nicole, do you have like daily alerts on me or do you just pick and choose when you want to look up my shit? You know what I mean? I got you, Lady J. Thank you. So somehow Nicole got wind that I had a citation, right, from last weekend from the 12th. 2 weekends ago, sorry. From the 12th. Or 13th. Gosh, the 13th. I apologize. And the citation was for... child endangerment with substantial risk. It's a misdemeanor one. It's the highest misdemeanor. It's one step from a felony, correct? It's not a felony. I was not arrested. I was not put in handcuffs. I was not mugshot booked. I was not fingerprinted. I was given a citation. Never left the house. Let's see what else. So I was never technically jail time arrested. I was paper arrested, if that makes sense. Basically, you got to promise to go to court. It's a charge. It's absolutely a charge. There's not multiple. There's one actually. That's the green screens I have. But anyway, so Nicole caught wind, and what she did was she got a citation summary off of the internet. What'd that say? Citations don't get you to an arraignment. Absolutely, they do. I definitely just have a citation. So anyway, absolutely never went to jail over this at all. But anyway, so I'm not even gonna pay attention to that. That's why I wanted comments off. You absolutely. All right, so I'm gonna actually not even green screen it. What happened to my comments? They turned off? All right. I'm gonna go ahead and show my citation just because of that stupid ass comment before I get started. I was trying to speak and you fucked that up. Give me 1 second, turn my camera on. And I never ever let the fuckery get to me. Why not? Niggas ain't worth my energy. What you have to do, cut them off, make them feel it. I ain't dealing with nothing if it don't make sense to me. I never ever go against my kind for some niggas. This is definitely a citation. Absolutely a citation. Summons and what is it? Summons and complaint. Criminal summons and complaint. Summons means you go to court. This is what you get called a paper arrest, right? Technically, you get charged with something, but you don't have to go to county jail. You don't have to get fingerprinted and mugshot. You will get an arraignment. As you see, arraignment for today at 9:30. I went to that, okay? So don't call me a liar. You sound like Maymay right now. You definitely sound like Maymay. All right, mods, y'all can turn the comments back on. It's all good. I appreciate y'all, mods. Good job on that. Anyway, so like I was saying, so Nicole somehow got the citation summary from the internet. And so what she did was she pulled up the citation summary that showed my charge on the citation. And she went ahead and made her own conclusion of what happened. She didn't even at that point know details of the case or anything. She didn't know where I was, what I was doing, who was involved. She just saw a child endangerment with substantial risk and she fucking ran with it. She was excited, right? Nicole, you were excited. I know you were, girl. Anyway, so the problem with doing that, Nicole, is there's going to be details and facts to a case, right? So you went ahead and did that. You made up stories about I was drugged up, drunk, whatever. I don't even do drugs, bro. Here we go again with the drug shit. I don't do it. Anyway, so on the 13th, right? On the 13th, my son Daniel, who's a teenager, okay? Daniel and his friend were at my house. I asked Daniel, who again is a teenager, to sit with Liam while me and my daughter ran errands that morning. I was never asleep in my home. The cop noted that in the report that he had to wake me and said something about sleeping because my son Daniel actually admitted to the cop and to the CPS worker and to me, he lied thinking telling the police I was gone would get him in trouble, right? That's why that report says that. You also can't read a report and say that's what happened. Nobody knows what happened and my son got caught in a story, okay? I never had, next thing is I never had Dan Baker there. I never had my ex, my kid's father there. Never asked for Dan to be at my house. I found out later, according to my son, once again, while I wasn't there with my daughter, my son finally told me and the cop that Dan drove past while he was going to work and he saw my side door open. He then looked inside the house and asked my son Daniel, okay, don't get it confused, asked my teenage son Daniel, go check on Liam. They both noticed Liam was gone, right? So Big Dan left, went down the street. It was, I can spit on the building. Now we're going to get to that. Mamie is telling people it was 6 blocks away. It's not true. The address where my son walked to was not even a block. It's 0.1 miles. So I shrunk it a little bit. Let me try this again. Hold on. So anyway, while I'm talking about this, this is where May, I don't know where she got her 6 blocks from. Anyway, that's my home address. That's the address of the building called Neighborhood Alliance. It has a daycare. It's literally, if I look out my front door, look to the left, I can actually go outside and show you where it is. I can spit on the building, okay? 0.1 miles. It ain't no 6 blocks, May. It's not 6 blocks, honey. Do your research. And number 2, it wasn't at 3 a.m. She's telling people that my son walked to that building at 3 a.m. This wasn't 3 a.m. This was at 9:30 in the morning. Look at the own police report you've been flashing, May. 9:30 in the morning, right? Anyway, they went to go, Big Dan went to go get Liam. He already knew where he was headed, right? He saw him, he already got it. So as he's doing that, I got home right before Liam got back to the house, right, with Big Dan. Little Daniel told me everything that happened, that him and his friend were here, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, Daniel, how did Liam get out the side door? There's locks on it. My son Daniel, tried to first tell a story that Liam pulled up a black stool, stood on it, and undid the lock and got out the side door. This is now, mind you, the cops are there. The cops showed up with Big Dan and Liam, right? Me and little Dan are at the house. I just got home, me and my daughter. And again, he's telling me what happened, and he's explained to me that Liam got in a black stool and unlocked it and got out. Mom, I wasn't looking, I was with my friend. And I'm like, Daniel, right in front of the cops, I said, Daniel, that's a lie. That is a lie, because that boy, even on a stool, cannot do that. I know he can't. I said, you need to tell the truth right now, right? So, my son Daniel finally said to me in the cop, he was like, okay. When he came in, meaning his friend, he didn't lock the chain lock on the door. Okay, so in essence, Liam, at 9:30 in the morning, yes, went out the side door and walked 0.1 miles to the left of my house to a building called Neighborhood Alliance, right? He did, 9:30 in the morning. He got returned home safely by his dad and the police, obviously. So when the police showed up with his dad and my son Liam, Dan has I have a restraining order on Dan. We all know that, right? So if you go read the report. Dan himself even said he was driving by and saw the side door open. He was willing to get himself violated to make sure we were good, as he should. If I drove by his house and saw a side door open and my baby was there, I'd go do it too. Dan even knew he was in trouble or threatening of getting violated if anything were to happen, right? Police knew that. It is very sad. Police knew that. So they told Dan, they said, you know what? We're not going to violate you because we know that you did out of cause for concern, but you're going to have to leave the premises. So Dan left peacefully. That was the end of Dan being there, right? So Dan was never in my home. Dan was never in the home when it happened. Dan was not staying in my home. That's another rumor from May. Thank you, May, for that. Thank you again for parading my kid's dad across the app again. I appreciate that. Anyway, so he left peacefully, as he should. And so here we are, fast forward, me, the police, my son Daniel, Liam's home. And again, I'll get back to what my son said. So then he finally came clean about his friend not locking the chain on the door because Daniel forgot to tell him to do it. So in a way, it was the friend's physical fault, and it was Daniel's fault for not reminding his friend, okay? One thing that the officer wrote in the report that I don't like is he used the word blame in it. He said that Tara kept blaming her son, right? No, I never blamed my son. And May says that too. Here's the difference in blaming and telling the truth. Blaming would have been if I left the side door unlocked and I then said, oh, it wasn't me, it was Daniel. That's blaming, right? Versus my teenager telling his truth on his accord and nobody made him, right? That's not blaming. That's speaking the truth. So I don't like that word was used. So May also ran with that. She's like, you're blaming your son. No, I'm not. That's my son's absolute truth. He owned it. And? Anyway. Oh, yeah. So again, I wasn't blaming my son. It was stating the truth from the incident. Like I said, first Daniel claimed that Liam unlocked the door himself. Me and the cop both knew better than that. That was not right. So anyway, the cop said I was getting a citation because I was ultimately responsible as a parent. I agree. Absolutely. Read the report. In the report, the officer said that I did get a little mouthy. I got a little mouthy. We're being honest here, right? We're being honest. We're old friends. I got very mouthy with that cop because I couldn't understand why I was getting a citation if I wasn't the one that physically allowed it to happen. And maybe I'm wrong. Yes, I agree that I'm the responsible adult. Yes, I agree I'm the mother. I'm not arguing that. I'm glad my baby's okay. That was first and foremost on my head. I'm glad Liam's okay, right? It's an embarrassing, horrible, tragic, could have been worse situation. Trust me, I know. It's been eating at me this whole time, right? That's my baby. I don't care what any hater or May has to say. That's my baby at the end of the day. And you don't know what I've been going through or feeling. And I absolutely been eating it. That's been eating at me, okay? It's not been fun and parties over here, okay? So anyway, he gave me the citation, and on the citation, as it says, as I just showed it, I'm reading it right now, it says October 13th, 12:09 p.m. by the time they were done. Child endangerment with substantial risk. Now, when Nicole saw substantial risk on the first citation, she pulled up the only citation. She starts freaking out, getting excited. Oh, that means that you did Nope. And people were Googling it, trying to make it sound like someone was tortured or drugged up. Substantial risk is what they add to that charge when the child is disabled, has a disability. My son is disabled. We all know that, with a heart condition. Nothing else, just a heart condition, no physical disability like that. So yes, he's considered substantial risk. If it were one of my other children, it would not have said substantial risk. It would have just said child endangerment. So nobody get it twisted. Nobody get excited. That means he's disabled. It's just a technicality, a term. Okay? So anyway, so the problem I had with the officer was, at first I'm like, why am I getting, that's kind of a hefty charge. Like, that's kind of a hefty reason to give me a citation. Do we really have to do child endangerment? I get it. I get the severity of the matter. I'm not saying it wasn't severe. And I didn't argue with the fact that he gave it to me. I was arguing with the fact that I didn't think it was necessary because, again, not blaming my son. But with that being said, how did I endanger or neglect any child of mine? How? All right, sorry about that. Another rumor is that from May and Nicole, I believe, is that I lost custody of my children. I never lost custody of my children. My children have been in my custody their whole entire lives. Nobody has them. Nobody has guardianship. They're not at anyone else's house. They're definitely at mine. I've been on phone calls with people proving that for the past week and a half because I have been talking to a few people behind the scenes. So getting to that, after getting the citation, the sheriff's department, the police and the sheriff's department had to show up. It was Lorain Police Department and sheriff's because I live in a certain part of the city called Township, okay? When you live in a township, even if the police department responds, they can't do anything to me. The sheriff has to actually do it, if that makes sense. That could possibly be why there's two fucking files. Maybe. But anyway, we'll get to that in a second. So the sheriff's department is the one that had to give me the citation. And so as part of their protocol in a situation like this, yes, they called CPS. They did. They called CPS. They spoke to CPS. And the lady got on the phone with me. And exactly what I'm about to say is how she said it verbatim. She said, Ms. Myers, you don't have to do anything. There's no court order. There's no judge's signature. But we are suggesting that for me to come out to the house and speak to you and look around, can you please possibly send your boys, because my girls, you know, Chloe went to work, and my other daughter's at her friends. I drove Chloe to work, whatever. Can the boys possibly go to Dan's mom's house for maybe an hour or two, unless she found cause for concern? She was definitely honest with me, and she said, now, if we find some kind of cause for concern, that's where we'll get a judge involved, and we'll have to talk about temporary guardianship, right? So that was an absolute potential thing if it were cause of concern, right? Get to that in a second. So she was telling me all this on the phone. Of course, I'm freaking out, start crying. I even thought, I'm losing my kids. I'm losing my kids. I'm losing my kids. She's like, no, this is protocol. This is how we do things. That way I can speak to you privately, look around the home, and then I can go speak to Daniel at grandma's house. And, you know, some people coach their kids. Some people make their kids lie. I want to see how y'all react, you know, separately. All good. So I absolutely did that. Grandma came and picked them up. Again, never left, still there with the sheriffs, not asleep, by the way, still wide awake. And so anyway, after the visit, during the visit, she had me take a random willing mouth swab drug test, which I did. Come to find out, I'll get to that in a second. I passed that with flying colors, by the way. She had me do that. I signed some releases for the doctors. She looked around the house. She heard my side of the story. She then went over to speak to Daniel. She got the same story from him, word for word, verification. She knew it wasn't fake. She said she knew it was genuine. She came back to my home, called her supervisor right in front of me, and she said to her supervisor, I don't see any cause for concern in this home. So can we just go ahead and start the process to close this case? Can the boys come home? Supervisor said, absolutely. Tell her that the boys can come home. She can pick them up or grandma can bring them home. They were gone for 2 hours. Again, all of that's protocol. That's nothing special. It's not because it was me. It's not because I got handcuffed and hauled off to jail. I never went to jail. Anyway, so they came home after 2 hours, right? This is a lot to go to jail and then get bailed out for, right? I mean, that's I got bailed out pretty quickly. That's insane. Anyway, they came back home after 2 hours, right? And the CPS worker even said she didn't feel any reason to intervene. There was no reason for them to stay involved. And she would even relay all that to the prosecutor, right? To the prosecutor to go for a dismissal of charges. Exactly what she said. She even said, I don't believe you should have been charged with this. I believe maybe a warning should have been given or something, but I don't believe it. I think a charge was too. Exactly. She said it's too much, too strong, right? She said that. That's the recording I want people to hear. That's the recording I'll be posting after this live. It's going to be a 5-minute conversation with her. It was a 20-minute ending conversation about her closing the case. I had a few witnesses in that call, but I did take out the parts that had my children's information, so it broke down to 5 minutes. I want people to hear that for sure. Again, all of that was protocol. Again, no cause for concern. Therefore, the kids have been in my home the whole time, minus those 2 hours. They are not anywhere else. They did not go live with somebody. They are here, and they are fine, and they're perfectly fine now, right? So, with all that being said, let's see, we've cleared up. First, I never, ever went to jail. I never went behind bars. I never got transported out of my home that day, right? I absolutely got a citation. It's called a paper arrest, right? It's a summons and a complaint, and you sign it, and you promise to be there for your arraignment, your court date. And if you don't show up, you get a warrant out for your arrest, right? So that arraignment was today. So I definitely went to that arraignment this morning at 9:30. And as everybody knows, an arraignment is in all court cases the first of the court process. That's where the judge asks you what you want to plead. If you don't have an attorney, they give you one. You should know, a lot of y'all should know how this works. And then normally you get scheduled a pre-trial after that, and then it goes into a trial if it goes that far, right? So the arraignment is strictly just to know what I plea. I pled not guilty today. I did, because there's facts of the case, facts that matter to the case that I want another judge to hear. I want the judge to hear them. I agree with that plea. So I was scheduled a pre-trial for November 12th at 9:30 in the morning. And on the day of the pre-trial, now see, my attorney did file a motion of dismissal, but that's not going to be seen or read or listened to until the pre-trial, right? So until November 12th, the judge is not going to see that. However, also at the pre-trial, my attorney and the prosecutor will speak, and they will either come to an agreement or all charges will be dropped. My lawyer is almost 1,000% sure this is going to be completely dismissed. Charges and all that dismissed. So even with worst case scenario, this charge absolutely can carry up to 180 days in jail. It can also carry probation. It can also carry $1,000 fine. And the charge, even if you're acquitted, the charge will always forever be on your record. Okay. So that's why we're trying to get it dismissed, because I don't want that on my record my whole life. Right. Anyway. My lawyer also said, so now we have best case scenario and worst case scenario. This is what we're looking at. A worst case scenario, and he doubts this, never first-time offenders usually get jail time, but worst case scenario is I could get 180 days in jail. But again, it's a first-time offense, and it's not a habit. It's not a repetitive thing. I'm not a neglectful mother. I don't have issues with raising my children. With all that being said, and the fact that CPS is going to recommend in my favor, my lawyer said that won't even be on the table. If I'm found guilty, God forbid if I'm found guilty of this, My lawyer said it'll probably be a lesser charge. They'll probably drop it down to something else. I don't know what, but they most likely will. And I will have to pay a fine and probably community service. Still no jail time. And it'll be on my record forever, right? That's the worst case scenario. That's medium case scenario. And here's best case scenario. Everything gets dropped and dismissed at the pretrial. I have no charge anymore on my record, and I have no conviction. That's even great. So that's going to clear that up. And I'll get to the court documents in a minute that Maymay has been talking about all day and screaming her head off. But like I said, the fact that Nicole and Maymay are out here lying about things and twisting things on me and my children, I think that's absolutely disgusting. You guys caught wind, like I said, that I had a citation, and you made your own story up to it before any of the details were released. And then when the details were released, you guys made your own version of those details and added more. You know, that's you guys have been disgusting. You guys, well, Nicole, you're already disgusting. We know that. But Maymay, I'll start with you. Maymay, you have been dissecting this shit like you work for the courthouse. It's been bothering you, I think. I think it bothered you today that I pled out. Not pled out, but I pled not guilty. I feel like it's bothering you that CPS is on my side. I feel like it's bothering you that this is not going to work out the way you want it to for some reason. You want it to be horrible. So why did Nicole say you joined her live and told what happened? No, that wasn't her live, Shoo. That was Lisa's, Lisa Prigmore. The first night after all this came about, she was live. It was like 3:30 in the morning. She went to Lisa's live, and she was, of course, telling her version of my own family story. So I absolutely got in a box, and I started to tell the facts of what happened, and then I got banned. So that's how that happened. Anyway, so now after I was going to wait till after the pretrial was over to even come live on my own platform and speak about this. But after the arraignment today, I was like, you know what? If I just stick to the facts, it can't hurt my case, right? I have not been hiding. I have not been running. I have not been scared to address this. I have been absolutely not trying to say something that will fuck up my case, right? And that's absolute suggestion from my attorney. Now it's okay because the facts are submitted. We're going to talk about it on the 12th. I can speak about this now. I can't speak about much, but I can speak about what I know are facts, right? What else can I say? As far as, there are the flags. As far as the home changes, I've double security on the locks and the doors. I've made a decision with my son. He won't be babysitting Liam anymore. Again, it's not illegal for a teenager to babysit, though. Just put that out there. So no laws were broken. No laws were broken, if that makes sense. It wasn't like I had a young minor child watching him. Definitely didn't leave him home alone. Get to that in a minute. What do you mean, Lady J? I'm not done yet. Can you just hold on? Let me finish doing what I'm doing, please, and try and get this out here. This is why I wanted comments off. I can't concentrate. Fuck. Hang on, I need to mute for a second. I just lost my train of thought. Let me try this again. Sorry, I see in a second. Each John, including Liam, got on live with me. They were in there. Daniel himself told me what happened. Not on live. Lady J, that was a snap call, remember? Lady J wants me to remind you guys that Daniel got on a snap call that I was on with her. He did, absolutely, and told the same version of what happened. I'll say it again. My teenage son made a horrible mistake. And I guess, teenage son made a horrible mistake. And I guess, made a mistake as well, thinking that he would be responsible enough to handle that, right? He's sat with Liam before. It's not the first time. My son made a horrible mistake that could have been a lot worse from my little son. That's never left my mind. That was a very intense, scary situation for me and for my teenage son, by the way. He was very shook. So I'm not trying to make anyone feel guilty or sympathetic, but Nicole and May, you just keep... I'm going to leave that there. My son was very shook from this, and the fact that you're out here making me explain it, not making me, but compelling me to explain it and calling everything... You're calling my son's story a liar. You're calling him a lie. You're saying my son's story is a lie. You're telling me, and you're telling other people that I'm trying to cover my own actions up by blaming my son. It's not what I'm doing. Again, do we have to define blaming versus telling the truth? Anyway, green screen. Let me get to some green screens. Hold on. I got you, May. Don't worry, May. Again, if this goes down, I'll be live. Hold on. Green screens. It's on 6 blocks, right? We already did that. Okay, here you go. So I'm going to debunk... Can we turn the comments off for a second, Mons, please? I'm going to debunk a lot of May's bullshit from today. These are my actual court documents that I pulled up online. I also have a screen recording of me doing this. The police call that was played was a scanner call, Sassy, and it absolutely was about a kid walking to the address that is in the report. I'm gonna turn the comments off so I'm turning the comments off for a second so we can see these papers. Okay, hold on. Just bear with me. I thought my mods would do it. Sorry. Okay. So this is my first that we're looking at. Again, I did a whole entire screen recording. I'll be posting that after this live of me searching all of this live so nobody can say that I edited things, whatever. This is a complete list of my history in Lorain. Charges, convictions, court, all of that. You can see, these are all cases. A lot of those are traffic citations. I got a lot of traffic citations. Anyway, so if you look where it's highlighted, those are the 2 cases right now for the situation going on, but they're not separate cases. Okay, so the way the courts did it is one of those is for the 14th, 10/14/24. May doesn't know how to really look at paperwork and explain things. One of those is labeled 10/14/24 is when they filed it with the court. Okay, then you have an identical one above that that's dated for 10/23/24, which is updated, right? Day before my arraignment. That was when it was labeled for filing for the court for the arraignment. Okay, those aren't 2 open cases, May. That's the same fucking thing. It's a filing. Okay, next one. May pulled up today. May pulled up my complete history. She's like, oh my God, she's got 2 charges. Look, there's 2 charges. Look at it, guys, look. Nope. That's my complete history. Again, all those are traffics. Traffic. If you see, they say TR for traffic, CR for criminal. All right, so that's the complete history. So then there's other tabs. And the other tabs, there's a history, summary, charges, and there's bonds and citations. The next one that I... It's a list of my charges. Wait, wrong. All right, so this debunks May right here. This is where you go, you up there, you see where the blue tab says history? When you look me up, you got to click on those tabs, May. You can't just look at the first page. That's my history. There again are my open and closed court cases right now. First one you see, endangering children, substantial risk. That's just one May. Underneath that is DUS, that's driving under suspension. That's my current traffic issue I have going on. And as you see, look, even the driving under suspensions are on there double because that's filing. I got a close for marked lanes, a close for another driving under suspension, a close for that fake domestic violence Dan put on me, close for operating motor vehicle, seatbelt, red light. 1 endangering children, substantial risk. And this was updated on 10/24/24 today because look at the right. It already has my pretrial date for 11/12. So that was updated today. Hold on, not done. Then there's another tab. This tab says charges. See the yellow there? See the yellow? 1 count. 1 count. The first box is where they did the initial filing. Okay? Second box is when it got sent to the prosecutor. Same charge, not a different one. Third one is when the court filed it. Plea of not guilty, updated 10/24/24. 1 count, citation date 10/13/24, updated and filing on 10/23/24. I don't have 2 charges, May. So again, this is a very brand new updated one. This is not old, not edited. Hold on, got one more. And again, I do have the screen. Now here's my court docket summary. Once again, proving May wrong. Here at the bottom. If this were more than 1, that's your journal entry down there. It would say more than 1. Look right there. 1. The second blue box, description, endangering children, risk to substantial whatever, health and safety. 1 charge. 1 charge. If you look at the top, file date, 10/23/24. Very much updated. Look at the very bottom where I highlighted it. Once again, to prove this is updated for today, it even says plea of not guilty entered on case to all counts 12 or 11/12 for the pretrial. Right? 1 charge. 1 charge. 1 charge, May. Just 1. Just 1 charge, May. Time for the class. One more time for the charge. You can turn the comments back on. Mods, thank you. 1 charge. Maybe I don't have 2 charges. I don't have 2 open cases on endangering children. That absolutely was a filing. It's filing, right? If you even go and look at it, one of them says 10. I keep saying the wrong day. One of them says 10/14/24, right? 10/14/24 is when they filed it in the courthouse, right? 10/24/24 is when they updated it today with the prosecutor for my arraignment. It's not 2 charges, May. You're just that stupid. You're just that stupid. And again, we did cover, it's not 6 blocks, correct? Yeah, it's not 6 blocks. Let's see what else. Everyone contact the court with everything Grow does. Sure, absolutely do that. You are more than welcome to do that. Please contact the court. Do that. Municipal court. I do, Summer. I do have a lawyer. Yes, ma'am, I have a lawyer. Let's see. So it wasn't 6 blocks. It was not at 3 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't sleeping or drugged up or drunk. My son and his friend definitely left the side door unlocked. It wasn't me that did that. I never had my ex in my home. Wildlife Catcher says, so you're still driving around with a suspended license you were that night of this event? Who's driving around with a suspended license? Actually, I got the, the block removed at the BMV. If you're really going to dig into my traffic violations, you have serious fucking issues. And that actually was a paper error, right? You guys are such great investigators. Such great investigators. I paid the reinstatement fee and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Got to go back on the 12th for that, too. I had to court the other day, actually. Yeah. But we're not here to talk about traffic violations, are we? That's not what everybody's been talking about. Can't be. Hold on one second.